Hello, I'm MacGybo, and I am live on Twitch, which is something I don't normally do. I'm normally um, a YouTube content creator, so this is something a bit different. But with the drops happening, seems like a nice thing to get involved with. So today, what I'm going to be doing is an epic arc for Angel Cartel. So with the pirate faction warfare beginning shortly, I'd like to fix my standings with Angel Cartel because they're quite bad. I have spent 16, 17 years killing them. So I don't know if it's the case that when the faction warfare begins with Angel Cartel and Garista Pirates, that it'll be like in a new corps, so the standings thing won't be a problem. But I've got a feeling that it will be. Excuse me. So, what I'm doing here is, well, I'll show you here. I'm doing an epic arc, and I'm sure you'll know what an epic arc is, but in case you don't, it's a series of missions that are given to you that significantly increase your standing with that particular faction. And to see epic arcs, you go into activities and then the agency, agents and missions, and you can see epic arcs there. And the top one is Angel Cartel, and it tells you what system you need to go to. And that's exactly what I've done now. Be careful, because if you're traveling here from HiSec, like for example from Jita, there are gate camps. You have to go through low security space, and you do end up in low security space to do these missions. And this is what happened when I was on my way. There was a gate camp with train wreck, and even though I was in an interceptor, I was in a crow, they still caught me going through a gate. And this is what happened. But to be fair to them, they did get in touch and reimburse me for it, which was completely uncalled for, but very nice of them nonetheless. I just check, if I may, if anyone's uh, able to tell me whether or not they can hear me all right, if the music's all right, if the sound's okay, then I'll be able to move on with things. Okay. So the name of the agent that I need to get in touch with Angel Cartel is here, but when you dock up in the only stationing system, there are no agents. And that's because the agent is in space, and I'll show you how to get to them in a little moment. But before I do that, I'm going to show you my fit. Now, this is recommended to me. It's a Crow with micro warp drive, shield tank, effectively a buffer tank, rockets with just Mjolnir rage, which is EM damage, a ballistic control system, and a auxiliary power core to make it all work. Lots of ammo. This is recommended to me. Now, the system that this is in is about 47 or thereabouts jump from Jita if you avoid low sec. But it's also only 11 jumps from a system called G-0Q86. Now, if you are jumping into Zarzak, then G-0 is one of the systems that comes out of Zarzak. So if you're anywhere near Zarzak or any of the systems that go there, that might be a shortcut, but it does take you through nullsec and through lowsec. But But it's got to be better than the 47 jumps I took there. So let's begin. So when you're out in space, what you're looking for is the, I believe, the celestial agent beacon. So let's warp to that. You are in low sec, so it's a good idea to keep your directional scanner out there. And you can see the agent. And then we can start a conversation with them. And so begins the epic arc. So the first thing it's telling me to do is to report to a different agent who is well within the depths of null. Now it is an NPC station, and that's good news. So we'll accept this, and I've set the destination. Now the reason it's good that there's an NPC station there is because I can now refit for travelling through null and fit there again once I get there.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
So the things that are going to make it more difficult for me to be caught is an interdiction nullifier and a couple of inertia stabilizers. So let's get on our way.
Warp drive active.
So this is Curse. I'm not
Warp drive active.
very familiar with nullsec in the last 10 years, other than Syndicate, which is NPC nullsec, really, isn't it? Um, and even in parts of nullsec, which is claimed by alliances, you have these little pockets of NPC null, which tend to be owned by or run by the pirate factions. Oh,
Warp drive active.
now that is what the interdiction nullifier is for. It stops the bubbles having an effect on me. And I was too busy chatting to pay attention to that. But I guess what he's trying to do is capture people like me who are on their way to speak to the agent. So I'm in the right system. And I now need to dock up. Oh, I'm not in the right system yet, it's the next system. And again.
Warp drive active.
These guys and their bubbles. So I am not that familiar with this module here, the interdiction nullifier. So this means, does it, that if I activate this while I'm in warp, then the bubble won't stop me as well? We'll try that. Give that a try. Okay.
Warp drive active.
So that's active. And of course there is one bubble launch, but it's in line with the other gate.
Warp drive active.
Okay.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
We start a conversation. It's just a recon mission. It says it's in low security systems, but it's all null. So let's do it. So I guess these guys hanging around the gates have seen a lot of traffic recently with people running these missions. It might be a good idea with these things. Thank you, Backbone. To bounce a little around the system. Hello, Jenkins. So these epic arcs exist for the four main factions, Angel Cartel and Gurista. I think the most famous one is the um, Sisters of Eve, which allows you to significantly increase your standings. You watched the Faction Warfare Beginner's Guide on the way to work yesterday. Did you enjoy it? Learn anything from it? Did you identify any of the mistakes I made? No, I've made a mistake here. Thanks very much. I've made a mistake here in that I have been about to start this without refitting because I've still fit for travel here with the interdiction nullifier, but I do have another launcher and damage mod to put on first. You can't decide which faction to join. Well, I think the primary concern, because it's much of a muchness, um, is to be aware, I suppose, that if you join, I think, Galenti or Minmatar, it's going to make it very difficult for you to travel in Jita. Although I understand that joining Angel Cartel means that you can still travel in Jita. Um, I believe that's correct, and I certainly hope so because that's why I've decided to go with them. Because as someone who spends an awful lot of time ganking in Jita, if it turns out I've just made it so I can't go in there anymore, then that would be me shooting myself in the foot. Oops. You can have a dedicated faction warfare alt that also does PI, and your trader. You've got it all planned out. I mean, that sounds like a great idea. The thing about the pirate factions, my understanding of it is that it's going to create chaos in low security systems to the point that it could tip a low security system into being null, like a 0-0 system, um, which is really interesting because that means you get rid of your gate and your station guns. Probably better rats, more dangerous place to be. No sex status loss for shooting or podding. So that would be really interesting, particularly if you're going to end up with nullsec islands in the middle of low-sec space. It's effectively rewriting the map. So that, I think, is how the pirate faction fair is going to differ from traditional Amar Kaldari Galenti Immatar faction warfare. Pinu, thank you very much. Welcome to the channel. Let's see what this mission brings. Excuse me. Thank you, Jenkins. Thank you very much. I don't normally do live streams at all. This is new to me. I've actually spent a lot of the last couple of days um, reading up about the automation. Now it says I've got to return to my agent immediately. So let's do that. Let's dock up here first and put our travel stuff back on. Where am I? K. Oh no, where am I? Don't know where I am. Okay. So these missions are really quick and they're all paying about 1,000,000 each. And I didn't even need to fire a shot there. So there won't be front lines for the pirate factions, they'll just exist within the other Empire battlefronts. I think, I don't know for certain, but I believe that there will be some kind of leanings with the pirate faction towards the existing um, factions. So much that Angel could still dock in Caldari space. I believe that's correct. As to front lines, I think it's like a third influence. So you've got your traditionally in faction warfare, you've got your offensive and defensive factions. So this is like a chaos faction. I think it's going to be very popular because people do like chaos in Eve. Right, so I travel fit. A lot of swapping things about. So now I'm going back to the agent who gave me the mission, just to report back on the recon in that wormhole. it's a good idea to keep scanning as you're moving about to spot any bubbles that might be at the gates that you open to. Nullifier for travel. Oh, what happened to it? Did I not just have it? Gosh, I didn't put it on. Put it in the cargo. I did. I did. Thank you. Rewards from pirate faction warfare aren't exclusive to people in that faction. I heard some of the BPs will only go to people in that faction immediately, but others will still be able to get the ships. As with anything, um, people will be making the ships and then making them available in Jita or any market. So you get the Navy ships at the moment, which exist because of faction warfare blueprints, like Kildari Navy Hook Bill or the Federation Navy Comment and so on. So the two destroyers, is it Merrick Bal and I can't remember the other one. They are both probably going to make their way to the market as a result of faction warfare players cashing in LP for blueprints. But also there's something going on at the moment where if you wormhole sites where you hand in tokens to the station in Zarzak and you get something that you can trade in for, is that blueprints for the ships? But those new pirate faction warfare destroyers, when I looked, were going for like 8 billion each. And the prices will come down, but at the moment it's just for people who want to be the first people to have these ships. I can't see there being any justification for pirate faction warfare, pirate destroyers being 8 billion as an ongoing price. So the Saber's making his way to me. I've already left. So this is a bit of an experiment for me. I do have drops active. I believe I've got drops active because even though I'm not uh, an Eve partner who's an Eve partner for streaming, I am an Eve partner who is now streams. Um, I'm an Eve partner through the YouTube channel that I have, but CCP have made it now that Eve partners who stream are part of the drops. So you should be earning the drops by watching this. So complete the mission. 4 million ISK for that. 5 million ISK for that recon. Wow. Okay. So let's get another mission, which is in this system. Can I just ask you if you can make a comment if you can hear the music that's on in the background at the moment? Can you hear anything? Really, really low volume. Okay, thanks for that. Okay. So what have I got here? I've got a choice of two different missions here. So it looks like one is okay, now it's too late. Okay. Was that? I don't want your neighbours complaining. So it looks like combat or courier. Let's go with courier. Yeah, it's one jump. One jump for 6 million. That's like push X prices, isn't it? Right. And it fits. Just a little scan. No interdictors on scan. I live in nullsec, but I mean this is probably about 16 years ago. And there was no such thing as interdiction nullifiers then. The system seems empty. Now, we all know what happens if you get to a mission site and you have to travel 90 kilometers. Something's going to happen on the way. It will be something that's triggered by me getting close to that, probably. Okay, I mean, that sounds easy enough. I mean, that's 6 million-esque. You know, you've been living null life. It's way better than just solo high-sec playstyle, at least for me. So are you part of a co-op alliance that's in null, or are you doing it as a single player? Is that working? Hmm. Slice. Whereabouts is Slice based? I only know about 3 or 4 of the nullsec alliances, if that. Oh, Pandemic, Horde, Slice, Commonwealth. And what's your gameplay up there? Is it a balance of PvP and PvE? Are you getting much in the way of fleet fights or exploration? got 5 jumps, and the system has got no stations. I can dock in. Oh, this could be a fun one. So you're sticking with fleets of about 5 friends, mining, solo PvP, small gang roams. I mean, that sounds pretty similar to what I was doing many years back. We would go out on inti roams, or bigger ships as well. I remember when I started, like way back when, it's just a race to get into the biggest ship that you could. Even if you didn't have the support skills, you couldn't fly anything that was anything other than T1 and lots of stuff to fit it. Now I've gone back to just learning every support skill and all of the skills for all of the races, frigates, destroyers, cruisers, working their way up. So there's nothing that can't fly at that level. Like solo faction warfare with frigates, it's totally different what you've done. It's doing marauder to cruiser ships. So yeah, frigate fights are something completely different. It's so fast. It's fast locking, fast fights. It's a lot of fun. Frigates are unforgiving, but they're also cheap. Frigates more than anything else. Maybe destroyers, possibly cruisers. It's all down to range control, isn't it? You control the range, you can control the fight. If you learn your damage types. The thing about frigates, I say they're so cheap. You do get your. I mean, my favourite frigate, I think, is the Daredevil at 0. You get a Daredevil with blasters and void at 0. It can take just about anything apart. And I do like a Gamma, light missile Gamma, which is. People frown at that, say that's cheating, but it is fun. And that's a good point about streaming. You could just record the whole thing and upload it raw on YouTube as well. Most of your followers might still only be there. You're right. You're absolutely right. And I've done that in the past. So I have to shoot. Which one? This one. So max flight range 13 kilometers. So let's go around that. Oh, he's tanky. He's What disrupted me? This is maybe where the damage mod would have helped out. There was a station I could dock in next door. Might be an idea to... Well, firstly... Yeah, let's take this booster. Notice that the wrecks, even though they're NPC wrecks, the pumpkins. Nice. Look, in 2008 I was in a small private pirate gang that was mainly doing Rifter PvP. It was so damn fun. I should have just bought 5 gammas and fitted them for solo. Rockets or light missiles? Rifters are fun. I think my favourite T1. I've got an Astero and Scan. My favourite T1 ship's the Tristan, just for the versatility of it. Saber on Scan. Astero and Saber. Between 12 and 14, so they're sitting on the 1p gate. So it might be alright. We'll see if once we get through this shield, the starts to melt a bit. Because I don't fancy sticking around with my shield tank down. I'm going down quite fast. Through his shield. This filter I've got here, it says just ships, but it's got bubbles and probes as well. But look, system's empty. And he is melting a bit now. There's no wreck. There's nothing dropped in his wreck. Oh, there is. Just crap. Okay. Let's head back. The key with these arcs and the way that people treat them is to just batter through them all pretty quickly. I'm not even sure how many missions there are in this arc. So what I'm doing at the moment is, in anticipation of the faction warfare for Angel Cartel and the Garistas Pirates, is to smash stand-ins with Angel Cartel. So when the faction warfare begins for them in November, that's something that I should be able to join. And the way that you raise your stand-ins without grinding them through their agents is by doing the epic arc. Oh, there we go. Bubbles up. But I should be able to just activate that and go. Hey, oh, I love these. They are sweet. But there's another one. I think he was landing just as I came through. So whenever I see that name, Local Spike, remember that he's in an interdictor. So, because it's Angel Cartel space, it's a free for all, really, isn't it? How much time is it to take a does it take to finish an epic arc? As I haven't done one before. I think you can blitz it, possibly, but that's what I was looking up there before I interrupted myself. So it was chapter 1, 2, and 3. It looks like I finished chapter 1. Chapter 2 was triggered by me selecting the Serpentis route. And it looks like after this, there's 4 more missions and then 2 in chapter 3. So it definitely looks like, I think the Sisters of Eve one is about 50, over 50 missions in the one day that I've done a couple of times. That's the Bloodstained Stars. Whereas this one looks a lot shorter. So I'm gonna wind it up. I know some streamers going for quite a while, but this is about my limit. Effectively my lunch break. So I'm gonna say thanks very much for watching. Uh, good luck with the epic arcs if you're gonna do this to raise your standings, and I'll upload this to YouTube so people can see exactly what it is that I've been doing. But thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye now.